Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of the Road to V11 series. So in this video I wanted to go and hop on the KilterBoard. I've only climbed on it like once or twice, but I've heard people say it's pretty soft, and who doesn't love soft climbs, so I figured I'd give it a go. And I guess for everybody that hasn't really gotten the chance to climb on the KilterBoard, since there's not always a whole lot of them everywhere, it's definitely really fun. The holds are super comfy, and I noticed it was kind of surprising, even going through the lower grades, a lot of the movement felt really powerful, and I felt like there was more of an emphasis maybe on body tension than I felt on something like the moonboard on some of the lower grades, which was kind of surprising to me. And maybe I was just kind of warming up, but I thought the 4 and the 5 felt pretty on par with what I would expect on the moonboard. At least for the most repeated benchmarks, that is. But getting into the V6 range, I started noticing that the climbs were definitely still feeling pretty easy, when normally on something like the moonboard, I'd definitely start to struggle. And even gym climbing, V6s would be where I'm kind of having to try pretty hard for a flash. And I'm not sure if this is the right beta, bumping out to that shoulder, but I haven't watched any beta video on this climb, so this was my flash go, and it just felt right for me. So we're starting to get up there now. I've flashed this grade outdoors, gyms. I'm not sure on the moonboard, but it's definitely starting to get up there, and honestly, climbing this problem, it basically didn't feel like I was able to fall on any of these moves. The most committing, kind of insecure move was definitely this last throw, but you're going to like an absolute bucket jug, as you can see, and I was kind of surprised that this was graded a 7. Getting into the 8 range was when I felt like I really kind of had to start trying pretty hard. I ended up cutting on a lot of these moves, and it was pretty strenuous. Funny enough, the first fall of the session goes to probably one of the only real, like, kind of crimpy holds on the board. And the second fall also goes to some impatience, because my skin was getting pretty hot and sweaty, and I wasn't resting enough to let it cool down. So I figure I might be doing it wrong, so I tried bumping the left hand up, and I thought maybe I could come in and then bump up to match, since on this boulder you're allowed to match. But that also felt pretty bad, and I kind of just assumed this was going to be a problem that I could do if the conditions were a little bit better, if my skin wasn't as sweaty, and I didn't want to keep burning attempts on it, so I hopped on this other 8 and tried to give this one a shot instead. And it was at this point that I finally decided to go and look at some beta videos for the climbs, and I realized I was able to keep my feet in a lot more of the positions on this climb, especially for this move here. Getting this pretty aggressive drop knee, keeping the right foot on the start hold, made coming up right so much easier, and I had a lot more energy to go and actually go up left and get this hold. I was super stoked to be able to get this second try. A couple of these next clips are going to be from the next session that I had on the KilterBoard, since after trying that other 8, I was confident I'd be able to flash one. but I'll be honest, it really didn't feel like it was possible for me to fall off this. Again, it felt probably like a 5 or a 6. And I thought this climb was really cool, getting all twisted up like this. And you can probably see I'm struggling to even see my feet over my arms, which I thought was really weird. I've never experienced that on a climb before. And watching that attempt back, I definitely feel like I was closer than I thought I was. I think I hit it and just felt like it was way too much contact strength to go and hold that with how tired I was, but maybe I should have tried it more. Because as you can see here, I'm trying the next 9 and I'm just not even understanding how to do this takeoff. I'm trying to do some kind of pogos, I'm trying to swing, I'm hitting my knees on the hold. It's just bad news. Painfully close on the flash go, but the last move definitely felt way cruxier than any of the other moves. So I'm curious what you guys think about the grades on the KilterBoard. I feel like most of the grades definitely feel pretty soft, and I think the style of climbing maybe gives the impression of climbs being softer than they are. I feel like there's kind of an aspect of perceived exertion that you need to consider when evaluating how something is graded. I feel like a lot of climbers are typically stronger than the grade that they climb, and whether that's because of like certain glaring weaknesses or because of like technical reasons. I feel like because of the style of the KilterBoard, it allows for a really high level of application of those kind of strengths, and it makes me wonder if that might play into why the KilterBoard feels really soft for some people. And I imagine it probably feels pretty difficult if you're not somebody who's very powerful compared to a lot of other styles of climbing. There's people that have climbed crazy hard double-digit climbs that their pulling isn't that impressive, and I've met people that can bang out one-arm pull-ups and they can't even climb double digits. So it's like, because somebody that can bang out one-arm pull-ups because they can climb on the KilterBoard and something feels easy for them, but they're using, 80% of having some freak amazing strength, does that make it soft, or is that just their perception of their exertion? I'm curious what you guys have to say about the KilterBoard. I do think it's probably pretty soft, but I also feel like there's some more discussion that could be had. So if you guys want to let me know, I'd be interested to go and read what you guys think. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.